In this challenge, you're going to learn about scenes in Flash. And we can think of scenes as a couple of different things. If you're thinking about a movie and you have a scene that takes place in the living room of someone's home, and then it cuts to the next scene where they are in the car. Okay, those are scenes. If you think of these like websites, because you can create a website in Flash, think of your scenes as the different web pages. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of things here. The first one is we're going to introduce you to scenes. So I'm going to start by creating a new file. I'm choosing ActionScript 2.0 just because of the type of scripting that requires. And I am going to build 4 different scenes. Now, I want your 4 scenes are going to be this. You're going to have one scene where you draw something outdoors and nature. A second scene where you are in school. A third scene at your home. It can be your bedroom, your kitchen, your living room, whatever. And then a fourth scene will be something that is a hobby of yours. So I'm actually going to draw a tennis court. So what I'm going to do, and I'll start off by showing you the first one here. Okay, so here's my stage. I am on scene 1. I have under my window menu, I have a scene panel. It is here under other panels, scene. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that out, and I'm going to dock it up here because we're going to need it some. I'm going to double click where it says scene 1, and I'm going to type outdoors. I'm using all lowercase letters. I'm not using any spaces. And then I'm going to just hit return. And now you can see that scene 1 changed to outdoors. Okay? And then at this point, I can do a couple of things. First, I want you to know that if you change your stage background color, it applies that stage background color to every scene. Okay? So anything that we want here, we need to use our shapes in order to do it. Okay? So I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to turn off the stroke. I'm going to give myself a kind of a sky blue color, and I'm going to put a rectangle up at the top. Now, I am letting my rectangle fall off of the stage. If you want to make it the exact same size, just remember that you can do that. And then you can, and then you can align it to the top of the stage. Okay. Then I'm going to get another rectangle, and I am going to give it a grass color, and I'm going to make that sit on the bottom of the stage, and I'm going to use my properties to make sure that it gets to be the same width and that it's centered and aligned properly. Now, I'm going to, on my grass layer, I want to make it not quite so clean. So I'm going to add, whoops, wrong tool. I'm going to add some anchor points with my pen so that I can just make it a little wavy. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then I use my sub selection tool, and I'm just going to raise and lower just a little bit. And yes, I'm going to have to adjust my sky layer as well. And if you notice that yours is snapping, you might want to uncheck some of these snaps. I'm going to uncheck that. I'm not sure what that was trying to snap to. There, that's better. And then I can kind of push and pull on these a little bit better just to make it more uneven. There we go. Now I can resize that sky to make sure that it falls under. Okay, so that looks a little bit more natural. So that's going to be my background. Okay, and I'm going to lock it. Then I can go ahead and I can draw some trees. And you have the choice. I'm sitting here using all shapes. You can you don't have to use all shapes. You can freeform. And here I made the mistake of using object drawing mode, so I'm going to select those. I'm going to break them apart and go back to my brush. And I'm going to draw some, oops, I'm still in object drawing mode. And I'm going to go ahead and draw some branches on my trees. And I want a trunk there, and now I can then fill that trunk like that. Then I can use, I guess I can use some brushes. And I can make some leaves, just random leaves, and I'm just doing random strokes. Doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want it to overlap all of the tree branches we just did. And we could even use a couple of different colors as if we lived somewhere other than Texas where we get some different seasons. And I'll do one more with some red. Okay. And I'll go ahead and put in tree. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a third layer for clouds. And on this one, I will use my oval tool. And I'm going to change my color to a really light blue. And I'm going to make an oval. I drew it in merge drawing mode so that I can actually remember how we can change the shape of things. Okay, you can push and pull any way that you need to, whoops, to create a different shape, or you can add more shape to it. You could even use the brush and add shape to it as long as it's in merge drawing mode. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate that cloud layer so that I have two of them. And the second one I'm going to flip. There we go. I have two clouds. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and animate my clouds. Notice how the cloud here is in front of the tree. I'll actually move my tree to the top layer so that my clouds can go behind the tree. Okay. So what I want to do then is I'm going to choose one of my cloud layers first, and I'm going to convert it to a symbol. And I'm going to say cloud, and I'm going to click OK. And I just thought of something. Since I'm making that a symbol, there's no sense making two cloud symbols. I'll just reuse that. So I'm going to delete that and go back to that cloud, and I'm going to put a motion tween on it. And I want this scene to last, whoops, I'm going to change my frame rate to 20 as well. I want each scene to last for 5 seconds. So I'm going to have it go to 100. All right, so this cloud can start here, and then in frame 100, it will finish here. So it's going to be going just like that. Okay. The second cloud, I'm going to go to that second cloud layer, and I'm going to go ahead and drag my cloud in there. This one, I'll go ahead and modify and flip. There we go. And this one, since I'm going to have it start here behind the cloud, and we're going to have it, when we create the motion tween, it's going to go the opposite direction. Okay, so it's starting here on frame 1. In frame 100, we want it to move a little bit differently. Okay, so here we have, and they cross paths, which is fine. There we go. Now, if I wanted to change this color so that when they cross, they look a little different, I could come in here to my properties, and I could go to, let's say, tint. And I could change the amount of tint on this. There. Now it's kind of a grayish blue. Oops, except for that changed it only in, in that last keyframe. So let me actually change that here too. And okay, so I think that's the same now on all of them. Okay, so once you have one scene done, and this is a pretty basic scene that I did, okay, but again, it's lasting 5 seconds. I do have clouds animating. Now I can go to my scene panel and I can add a scene. And this is where I'll go ahead and add the second scene, which is school. I'll add a third scene, which is home. And then I'll add the fourth scene, which is hobby. Okay, again, all lowercase, all one word, no spaces. So I'm going to press pause on this so I can draw all of my scenes, and then I'll come back and show them to you, and you can go and draw yours. Okay, so each of my scenes are done now, and each one of them has a little animation on it. For instance, here at the school, I have the clock hands animating. At home, I have a lamp flashing on and off. And on my hobby page, I have the sun rotating across the sky. So after I have this saved as period number, last name, scenes, I can then do command return, and it's going to play each of the scenes. Remember, each one is 5 seconds, and it's going to go in order of the scenes here from start to finish. You can see my light flashing and now my sun going. So that's what each one of you needs to do, is you need to create your 4 scenes. Each one should last 5 seconds. Each one should have one basic animation in it. And that way it plays from scene to scene to scene.